what we need is more Chinese foreign direct investment in Europe in some key sectors to contribute to our growth, to transfer some technologies, and not just to export towards Europe some devices or products which sometimes don't have the same standards or are much more subsidized as the one being produced in Europe. It's not being protectionist, it's just restoring this level playing field and protecting our industry.
In his address at the World Economic Forum in Davos on January 21, 2026, French President Emmanuel Macron sent a calculated welcome message to Beijing, stating that China is welcome and that Europe needs more Chinese investment in key sectors. However, his invitation came with significant conditions and was widely viewed as a strategic maneuver in the midst of a deepening rift with the United States over the Greenland crisis. 1. The investment over exports strategy. Macron's core argument was that Europe must shift its relationship with China from being a consumer of Chinese goods to being a partner in Chinese manufacturing. The quote, "China is welcome, but what we need is more Chinese foreign direct investments in Europe, in some key sectors, to contribute to our growth, to transfer some technologies, and not just to export towards Europe." The sectors, he specifically highlighted the automobile, EV, and machine tool sectors as areas where Europe needs Chinese factories, like the ASC Envision battery plant in France, rather than just finished Chinese imports. Ending dumping. He coupled the invitation with a stern ultimatum, demanding an end to the dumping of subsidized, substandard Chinese products that he argues threaten to overwhelm European industry. 2. Geopolitical context, the Greenland rift. The timing of Macron's comments was not accidental. They occurred on the same day President Trump addressed Davos regarding his ambitions to acquire Greenland. Retaliation against U.S. tariffs. Macron's outreach to China followed Trump's threat to impose a 10% to 25% tariff on 8 European nations, including France, for opposing the U.S. annexation of Greenland. The strategic autonomy message. By inviting Chinese investment, Macron signaled to Washington that if the U.S. uses trade weaponization or tariffs as leverage, Europe will look elsewhere for economic growth and strategic sovereignty. Condemning brutality. In a sharp rebuke of the U.S. administration's tactics, Macron stated, "We do prefer respect to bullies, and we do prefer the rule of law to brutality." 3. China's response, January 22, 2026. Beijing responded to Macron's Davos speech with a mixture of interest and caution. Foreign Ministry statement. Spokesperson Guo Jiaquan said China is willing to be more than just the world's factory and wants to be the world's market.